So I'm working on Notebook. This is something different. You can't see my name there. This is something different than I usually work on. It's a Cocoa application. I'll show you what it is, though, through the course of the presentation. So I use Mathematica a lot for doing things, just general computation, not just math. But the language isn't really that good. I don't know if any of you used it. The language is actually really pretty horrible. Python. I like Python. Python's a good language, much, much better than Mathematica. It doesn't have as much math stuff, but I don't care. I'm not usually doing math. I'm doing general computation stuff. The nice thing about Mathematica is the UI. So I wanted to put the two together, basically. Re-implement the Mathematica UI using Python. We'll talk about that in a second. So here's a piece of code, reads some stuff in from a file, splits it up, and does something with the data. This is just garbage. What basically the Mathematica UI does is it lets you separate a chunk of code into pieces, different cells of code. And then the cells can each have their input and their output and be evaluated separately in the same global scope. So you can run the import once and then do something with the data later without rerunning the import. If you want to change it, you change it, reevaluate it right there in the cell. Play with the language, you can do whatever you need to. If you want to add another cell that accesses the same data, sure, whatever. That's fine, all right in line. So that's Mathematica in Python. Why stop there? Why not Mathematica in Haskell or Ruby or JavaScript, whatever. So I made it pluggable. it's pluggable. You can throw a bundle in for another language and use it. And it supports lots of things. You can even doesn't matter. Trying to go fast. This is what it looks like. You got your input, your output for each cell. You can see cells there. There's a bunch. This is a very stupid example. So it's got the state of the cell. See, this one failed, so it's red. There's 4 colors or something for different states. A grabby handle, so you can select a bunch of them and evaluate them at once or delete them or whatever. It's themable. This is a horrible theme. It looks even worse up here, but I'm working on the themes. It's written in Cocoa, like I said. The backends are all in their own process because you need to be able to terminate them if you have a runaway, anything. If you have an infinite loop or something, something's not working. You have to be able to terminate them. You can't terminate. They were originally implemented as threads in the Notebook application, but you can't terminate a thread without possibly murdering yourself. So that's a problem. But all the Notebook windows are in the same page. You can have multiple windows at a time with different backends or the same backend. Well, the same backend, but a different set of globals. Each window has its own set of globals. It works in its own context. It uses native files that have a special comment structure to delineate blocks, cells, whatever. So you can just export a notebook file and run it in Python or Ruby or whatever, and it works there without touching anything. The editor's really bad. You really can't read any of this. I have to fix the syntax highlighting, character pairing. If you insert a paren, insert the other paren. I want to have what you see is what you get marked down for comments, so that you'll see nice bold text, italics, whatever. But it'll be marked down in the file. I don't know how that'll work with some of the documentation systems. I have to look at that, tabs versus spaces, things like that. The editor needs work. I might look at using COD, which is an open source code editor that has a lot of this stuff that's being implemented right now, so I can follow development and see how they're doing stuff. Better introspection, I want to have on the sidebar, I'm actually working on this right now, the ability to search through the set of globals and watch them, have them converted into Cocoa types and displayed. So say you're working on image processing, it will convert a pill image into a Cocoa image and display it right in the sidebar as a Cocoa image while you're working on it. Way too fast. I can't talk this fast. Completion of symbols, and possibly the ability to save and restore and convert a state. I think Graylin mentioned maybe even being able to undo an evaluation. That would be pretty cool based on the same thing. I found some code that does that. More backends. I might implement some more, I might not. Matt's going to implement a Haskell backend maybe.
We can.
Polish.
Okay.
And a name. I can't really use his name.
One quick question. Can you add libraries to Python, like plotting library, and then you can do plots and so on?
Yeah, you can import anything.
Import anything?
Yeah. It's just Python.
That's all.
I released 0.11 and 0.10, which had a horrible bug, 2 days ago. So it's out there on the website. It's BSD licensed. It's available notebook.horton.com. Can't see that, but I'll post my slides later. And it's on GitHub also. Yeah, that's that. I guess I'm not even going to do a demo. Cause
No, you should do that.
I should do the demo? Why?
Yeah, do the demo.
Oh, nice. You guys seem to have
Okay, do the demo. What we can do is, depending upon how Nate feels, we can take the picture and. Very
it's
good.
Python. Whatever. It's nothing interesting. It's just Python. You start a Ruby one. I don't know Ruby, so I can't use the Ruby one. But yeah, it's got very simple things. If you want to split a cell, you can split a cell. Whatever.
So,
Things like that.
is a caveat it runs only on Mac?
Yes. There's no reason you couldn't maybe make the backends work elsewhere, but they are very Cocoa-y right now. They use distributed objects and stuff to work cross process. But it's possible that GNU Step has a lot of that stuff re-implemented. It could work somewhere else. I am not going to touch that. All right.
So iHajas will be very happy. Peter
Peter will be very happy.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.